Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Total Celebrity Show. I'm the host of the show, Neil Haley. You can check me out on Twitter at Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, LinkedIn, Neil Haley, Instagram, Total Tutor, Pinterest, Neil Haley, Google Plus, and also on Periscope at Total Tutor. And I'm really, really excited to have any time involving professional wrestling, but she's much, much more. And I tell you, I'm excited to welcome the program, the co-founder and former CEO of WWE, Linda McMahon. Linda, thanks for calling, and how are you?
I'm terrific, Neil, and thanks very much for asking me to be on the show this morning and to be able to talk a little bit about my new endeavor, Women's Leadership Live.
Oh, absolutely. Excited to talk about it. A real quick question. I tell you, you have to be really proud of the family and where you've gone in your career from the professional wrestling world to see your children and how they've grown and had such great success. It's got to be a really, really proud feeling for you, isn't it?
It absolutely is. I mean, for Vince and I to have started, just the two of us, and to have really built a company that's now traded on the New York Stock Exchange and seen on a global basis, and to have our children involved. I mean, Stephanie's the Chief Brand Officer. Shane is returning as a performer for WrestleMania, and it's just lots and lots of fun. It's a lot of hard work. But they absolutely put their heart and soul into it.
So when you met Vince McMahon, did you know he was involved in the professional wrestling business when you first met him?
Well, when we first met, I was 13 and he was 16,
oh,
so
wow.
he was not involved. Vince and I have really grown up together, and we actually will have our 50th wedding anniversary this August. So we were married very young, and we've been successful in both business and our personal life. So it's a real love story, and so I'm really pleased and proud of that as well.
Well, congratulations. That's fantastic, and it's great to know you guys have known each other forever. Wow, for sure.
Yeah, we really have. We met as children. As Vince says, he's still a child, but we have a wonderful life together.
Now, the reason I brought up family is I thought it's a perfect thing when you talk about women and leadership. I think that women sometimes get the wrong thought process that they can't be leaders when they are leaders of households, they're leaders of corporations, and really to teach that how important it is to be a leader as a woman, right, Linda?
Well, it truly is, and women are clearly underrepresented in leadership. And if you think about some of the stats that women are 51% of the population. They earn the majority of college degrees, but they make about 78 cents on the dollar compared to men. They make 80% of household spending decisions, but then you step back and look at only 5% of Fortune 500 companies are led by women. And if you look at, Congress, it's only 20% women, and there have been so many studies that have shown that when women are involved in C-suite levels or on corporate boards, that typically the companies, do better. So I think that there's a void. I think there's a clear market, and that was really the genesis for Women's Leadership Live, getting launched by my two partners and I. And our goal is Women's Leadership Live is aimed at we want to train women for success, and that's however they define it. And maybe they want to be in the C-suite,
right?
They could want to start their own business. Maybe they have a product that they want to take to market. So, but everybody needs some community, and women especially need that little bit of, I call it, wind beneath their wings. And so our organization is hopeful to be able to create that kind of an environment for them.
And that's so true. Leading them and training them for what role they want to live in their lives as leaders. And we have to teach leadership across the board in our schools. First of all, Linda, I think that's what starts in the school environment to encourage everyone to be leaders in some sort of way. Linda, am I correct?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's even before school. I think it's at home. That children, boys and girls, are really encouraged to be whatever they want to be, and that they can do that and to take leadership positions. But, with leadership comes responsibility.
Yes.
So I think that it's a very, it's a dual role when you teach leadership, because with that comes responsibility, and you have to be willing to take on that responsibility. And I think that's sometimes where women shy away a little bit. You're not afraid to take on the responsibility, but sometimes you're afraid to raise your hand and say, I am a leader, and I absolutely can take on that responsibility. And so we found that, with studies, with young girls, with women, and so I think we are like other organizations who are trying to create this community of women who really have more confidence in themselves and to provide them with the tools that they can be successful leaders.
And that's important. So tell us some ways that Women's Leadership Live is helping do that. What are some of the plans for you?
Well, we are a new startup company. Mm-hmm. We have our first event May 19th through the 22nd. It's going to be in Texas.
Okay.
And it's going to be at the Omni Mandalay Hotel, Las Colinas, Texas, in Irving. We've had a great deal of support from the Chamber of Commerce there.
That's great.
So women will come to our live events. We have keynote speakers. We have breakout sessions. We have panels of experts from corporate leaders to the professional environment. We have a great program that's connected with HSN about taking a product to market. So we're going to have this first event and then help provide tools through mentoring sessions that will go beyond the conference to continue to have women engaged, learning about themselves and the tools that they need to be successful.
What tools do you feel, Linda, they need for leadership that you need to be successful, especially women? What do you think?
Well, sometimes the tools that they're looking for today are utilizing more social media.
Yes.
So it's to become proficient and experienced in using social media, as that will help them. I heard in your opening, I mean, it's Pinterest, it's Facebook, it's everything.
I'm always on social media. It is what it is for sure, and it's something people are trying to learn it still. Yeah.
Sure, and it's a direct outreach. There are some women who want to start their own business. They're entrepreneurs, and how do they prepare their business plans? How can we direct them maybe to get sources of capital? So those are the kinds of things that we hope to be able to assist, be assistance for them, because I think that's what they need. Women really have a clear mindset most of the time of where they want to go. They just sometimes don't exactly know how to get that. They need a little guidance, and they need a little help, and that's what we're looking to do.
And bringing up all these creative ideas and how women want to have the flexibility. I'm glad you brought up entrepreneurship, Linda, because they still want to have a family. They still want to be able to do things. And you saw it with the WWE, how it started and everything with you and Vince, how you did have certain flexibility at times because you were the owner of the company with Vince. So you understood that fact. So how about that important part of it is that if people choose entrepreneurship and have a great idea, to go out and do it and teach them those tools necessary, I think.
Well, part of really what we're really hoping to help as when women come and they present their entrepreneurial ideas is really to help them assess whether or not it is a good idea.
Oh, that's a great point.
Because sometimes, you have a business you want to get into, but you don't realize how important cash flow is. You don't realize how you're going to have to scale that business in order not just to sustain it, but to grow it. So all of, I think, the experience that Stacy Shefflin, one of my partners, who is the president of YBF, Your Best Friend Beauty.
Okay.
She built her company from the ground up. She's been successful on HSN and in other countries around the world. She's in England, she's in Dubai, she's in Italy, and she's in Australia. And so there are international aspects to what we've done in building a company. Clearly, my perspective of taking a company and growing it from the ground up and then taking it public. And then Debbie Sapiano, who's a whole different cat, is with us. She's a former school teacher, school bus driver who put her way through college, driving a bus. And then she was a school principal. When she retired, she looked to transition and kind of reinvent herself, and she did it through social media, and now she's a social media strategist. So we bring a lot of expertise in different fields to the table, and so that's what we hope to be able to share with the women who will come to the conference.
And also, I think one of your missions is for all women to have that opportunity and choice to be the best that they can be. Not you talked about women's equality and specifically the level of pay that everyone needs to have this opportunity in our country and in all over the world to be able
well,
to.
That's right.
Yeah.
Most every successful business leader faces setbacks. You stumble along the way a little bit. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I talk about in my sessions is that, look, I've been bankrupt before, and I know what it's like to lose everything. And so that's a very humbling experience. But you can't be afraid to take risks. And we want, women to see that, success is possible. And we'd like to change those stats, that show that women are underrepresented in business and politics. Matter of fact, Condoleezza Rice has a great quote. She said, "We need to," and I'll read the sheet.
Okay.
"We need to move beyond the idea that girls can be leaders and create the expectation that they should be leaders." And I think that's a great note to end on.
And especially family life, teaching leadership, allowing people to have leadership roles, and I have 3 girls of my own, Linda, and that's an important thing to develop that and to say, hey, you can be a leader, you can do whatever you want to do, and you can accomplish whatever you want, and you just got to go out and put your mind to it to do it.
Well, you keep doing that, and when someone tells your girls that they can't do math or science or engineering, your girls will know, oh, yes, I can, if that's what they want to do.
Exactly, for sure. Okay, best place we can find information on Women's Leadership Live and more information on you, Linda. Where can we go?
Sure, they can go to womensleadershiplive.com. We have all the information about our founders and when our first event is, and it tells you a bit more about us. So please check out womensleadershiplive.com.
Well, Linda, thanks for coming on the show. You have a definite great business idea, and it's really going to do well because women need that help. And then once they do, they go all out. So thanks again for calling, and best of luck.
Thanks so much.
Take care,
Bye-bye.
Linda. Bye-bye. You're listening to Total Celebrity Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.